So as we know in yesterday's class, we have seen how we can store the energy released during the respiration. So as we know, respiration is a chemical process or physical process. Everybody, respiration is also contains the breathing and it is a chemical process. So first in respiration, what is a process? When our body cells will undergo respiration, they will release the ADP. So that is what energy. So ADP is about low energy or high energy? Everybody, low energy.
Low energy.
And again, it will undergoes reacting with the phosphate, so that also it will take the energy from respiration only. So, and it will form the stored energy. That is what we used to call as, what is that called as? ATP, which is high energy. So now the energy released during this respiration is used to make ATPs. What do you mean by ATPs? Adenosine triphosphate. Now, whenever our body needs energy, then again this ATP will be used. Whenever our cells needs energy, the ATP can be break down using water to release the energy. ATP can be break down or broken down by using water to release energy. So it will be reverse process will be carried out. So ATP again will turns into what? ADP plus phosphate plus it will form what? Energy. So that energy only for use in cells. So the cells will use this energy. So like as I told you, different purposes of all our metabolic activities, like ATP only is used by the body cells for like every kind of actions done by our body, like contraction of muscles, conduction of nerve impulses, synthesis of proteins, and many activities related to functioning of cells. Most of the metabolic activities will be carried out with the help of these ATPs only. So they will release the energy. So now, today's class we are going to study types of respiration. So before going to study the types of respiration, so let us discuss if how this energy, that food what we are eating is undergoing the chemical reaction, what are the intermediate products are coming. That is all we'll discuss in our today's class, because that if you understand that only, then the types of respiration is very easy to understand. So first of all, as we all knows, the plants or animals, whatever it is, they will carry out the respiration by using what, guys? They will take something from the outside. What is that? Everybody, most of the plants, yeah. So most of the plants, they will take most of the plants and animals. Let me take animals and the plants, including the plants means don't think only photosynthesis. Of course, they will carry out respiration also. So most of the animals and plants, they will carry out respiration by taking out what? From the outside. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Air illa. They won't take air. What they'll take? Respiration by using what, guys?
Respiration by
oxygen. Oxygen. So that is why you remember, whomever the organisms, those who carry out the respiration reaction by using oxygen. So basically, we all know, we used to call them as what type of respiration? They used to call as
aerobic
respiration.
respiration.
Aerobic respiration. So if you see some organisms which carry out respiration without using oxygen also, so that very few some organisms carry out respiration without oxygen. So of course that organism we used to call as what respiration?
Anaerobic.
Anaerobic. Okay. So anaerobic respiration. So let us discuss, of course, yeah, even humans we all, of course, human beings are carrying out most of the cases aerobic respiration, but certain cases we people will carry out anaerobic respiration. We'll discuss what is that cases and by the time what is the products. Okay, so please kindly join with the numbers, everybody, regularly. I don't need to say every time. So remember, respiration by using oxygen, we used to say aerobic respiration. Respiration without oxygen, we used to call it as anaerobic respiration. So now let us discuss, as we know, we want to study these types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration. We should know certain kind of intermediate products as the process is taking place, how this glucose, what we are eating, the digested food will split, and what are the intermediate products are forming before going to get the, before going to release the energy. So that is all we are going to discuss now. So all of you observe very carefully. So these are the points what I am going to say. It is the common points, like make points in mind which will help us in understanding the two types of respiration. That is what aerobic and as well as what respiration? Anaerobic respiration. So the point
Aerobic.
number one, which you have to remember, all of you, we all know glucose. So what is a glucose formula? Can you tell me? Glucose is a what? C6H12 and O6. Okay. So actually, it is a how many carbon compounds? How many carbons are there? Everybody. Yeah. It is a carbon. It is a six carbon atom compound. So now you remember, it is the simplest food which is oxidized in the cells of organism during the respiration. So that is the first point you have to remember. Glucose is a six carbon atom compound, is the simplest food. It is the simplest food which is oxidized in the cells of organisms during respiration. Is it clear, everybody? Next. So observe very carefully. Now here, during this oxidation of glucose, all of you, the first product what we are converting, a glucose will converting into pyruvic acid. So the oxidation of glucose to pyruvic acid, or we can say pyruvate, is called glycolysis. Very, very important. Glycolysis. Sir, what is the difference between glucose and pyruvic acid? So that is also we'll discuss it. Okay. So observe very carefully. So oxidation of glucose to what will happen? It will converting into what? Glucose into pyruvic acid. That process is only called as what? Glycolysis. So this glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. So you might be studied in class 9th cell structure. Do you all remember, everybody? If you have taken any cell, plant cell or animal cell, of course we studied the difference between plant cell and animal cell also. So middle somebody is present. Who is that present? All of you.
Vacuum.
Nucleus is present, and surrounding by the nucleus we used to call it as what, everyone? Cytoplasm. So the conversion of glucose into pyruvic acid, it takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell, and it is not occurs in the mitochondria. So yesterday's class I told you who is the energy cell of the cell, energy storage, energy currency of course energy currency is cell. So inside the cell where it will be mitochondria. So but this converting glucose into pyruvic acid does not occurs in the mitochondria. It will occurs in the where? cytoplasm. That is what you have to remember. Everybody. Clear, everyone? Understood? All of you? So,
Yes, sir.
this oxidation of glucose to pyruvic acid does not require oxygen. Very, very important. All of you remember that. Because it will just break into some other things. Glucose only just break it into intermediate product called as pyruvic acid. That is what we can say. The most important one. So the oxidation of glucose to pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid does not require oxygen. Does not require oxygen. Are you clear, all of you? Sir, then what will happen, sir? Nothing is there. So we all know glucose. Glucose is a how many carbon compound, guys? How many carbon atom compound? Everybody? 6. Correct or not?
6 carbon.
So if I take one molecule of glucose, what is the formula, Mitakshri? One molecule of glucose, C6H12
H12O.
O6. Understand? So this one molecule of glucose will split it into two substances. So that is what? That is only what we used to call two molecules of pyruvic acid. So here one molecule of pyruvic acid will come, or pyruvate, and here also one molecule of pyruvate will come. So that is why here just this glycolysis means splitting glucose into two molecules of pyruvic acid, or we can say pyruvate. That's all. So what will happen? One molecule of glucose on glycolysis. What is the name of the process? All of you, glycolysis only. Yes or no? Glycolysis produces two molecules of pyruvic acid. Are you clear, everybody? Hasini, Ramya, anything doubt you can ask me. So, can you tell me now, pyruvic acid contains how many carbon atoms? It is splitting into two. That is what I want to know. Anybody? 6 carbon. That's what people are understand. One glucose contains 6 carbon, but one glucose molecule splitting into two pyruvic acids. So two molecules of pyruvic acid. How many contain?
3.
3. That is what you have to remember. Okay. So 3 molecules. So pyruvic acid is a 3 carbon atom compound. Pyruvic acid is a 3 carbon atom compound. So that is why pyruvic acid also we can call it as what? All of you. Pyruvic acid is called as pyruvate. Understanding? And the formula for pyruvate, actually, chemistry carbonates compounds, where people will get it. Carbon and its compounds, we people will get all these compounds. So formula for pyruvic acid is CH3C double bond O single bond COOH. So if you are not understand this, you can write like this. Later carbonates compounds I will teach you how to write this formula, everything very clearly. CH3COCOOH. So this is the pyruvic acid or pyruvate formula. Clear, everybody? So it is actually what is a group also I'm saying. After studying carbonates compounds, you will understand it also. Of course, board exam after that only. So it will be good for you only. So this one is actually it is a ketonic carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. So what is this? Now if I teach also you won't be understand. So you'll understand it later. So just for your purpose now I'm saying ketonic group means, keep in mind, anywhere between two carbons. Just for your purpose, most of you people can understand. That is what I'm saying. Anywhere between two carbons, if you get a C double bond O, keep it in mind, if you get a C double bond O, that is called as ketone group. What is to call? Everybody? Ketone group. So here is there correct C double bond O. Next, COOH. COOH is actually a functional group of carboxylic acid. Whenever you get a COOH, it is indicating what acid, everybody? It is the carboxylic acid. Understand, Metakshri? Fourth chapter chemistry will study in detail. So, no need to worry. So, C double bond O will come. It is a ketonic group. And carboxylic acid means COOH will come. So, that it be. That's what we have to remember. Okay, guys? So, one glucose molecule will split it into on glycolysis process, it will produce just 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. That's what is the third point. Next, fourth point. So that is what I can say. Pyruvic acid is a 3 carbon atom compound. All of you should remember. So what is another name of pyruvic acid? Everybody? Pyruvate. Pyruvate. Okay. Next. Remember, and you have to remember, as I told you, this pyruvic acid forms with oxygen or without oxygen. Yes, please. All of you.
Without oxygen.
Without oxygen. So, either the pyruvic acid will form during respiration, depends on or not, depends on whether oxygen is present in the cell or not. Do you all understand, everybody? If oxygen is present in the cell, be very careful. Pyruvate is completely oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. And of course, lot of energy is produced in the form of ATP. If oxygen is not present in the cells, all of you remember, then the absence of oxygen, the pyruvate is converted into either ethanol and carbon dioxide. Please, all of you remember, either the pyruvate will form or not. Actually, it is an intermediate product. It is not a final product. Do you all understand? Everybody, please respond. So pyruvate is formed during respiration. During respiration depends on whether oxygen is present. Hari, who is absent? Just see once. Absent, present, or whether oxygen is present in the cell or not. So all of you observe, I'll make into two cases. If oxygen is present, but actually, are you understanding? If oxygen present, then what will happen?
Yes,
What will happen? The pyruvate will go undergo what? Yes, please. Pyruvate undergoes complete oxidation. Understanding? Completely oxidize, and it will form carbon dioxide plus what will form? Everybody? Water.
water plus energy.
And lot of energy in form of ATPs. Clear? Now, if oxygen not present, where guys? In the cell. Here also present in cell. So please remember that. Here this is a present array. Again, don't misunderstand. PRESENT, present. If oxygen is present in the cell, pyruvate, how it will form? Completely oxidized, and it will form carbon dioxide and water plus lot of energy in the form of ATPs. If oxygen is not present in the cell, then what will happen, guys? All of you. Oxygen is not present in the cell, or absence of oxygen, then pyruvate is converting into, please remember what it will convert. Pyruvate is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. All of you clear? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So please make it. Any doubt, anybody can ask. Clear, guys? That is what you have to remember. Okay. So all of you remember, either it will form ethanol and carbon dioxide, or of course, one more also, or lactic acid also. So lactic acid. Sir, how sir it is? So it will depends on whether it will be taking place in the plant cell or animal cell. That is what you have to remember. Clear, everybody? So either it will form ethanol and carbon dioxide, or it will form what, Ra? It will form the
lactic acid.
lactic acid. Clear, everybody? So that is what
Sir,
you have to.
energy.
Yes, Amma. Energy is no one be further only it will be. No energy will be here. That's what I'm saying. Clear? Okay. Understand, Amma? And of course, energy here also will release, but here lot of energy in the form of what? In the form of everybody.
ATP.
But here much less energy will release. That is why this energy cannot be sufficient for our body. Very, very much less energy is released in this case. Clear, Harish?
Yes, sir.
But remember, ethanol and carbon dioxide or lactic acid depends on what? Depends on animal or plant. Okay, we will decide. We will study that. Now, let us comes to lactic acid, as I told you. So remember, this lactic acid also like a pyruvate, because pyruvate is also how many carbon compound? Everybody, how many carbon
Three.
compound? Three carbon.
Three carbon.
Same way, lactic acid is also three carbon atom compound. Okay, everybody. So it is also, we can say, also called lactate. Lactate. So the formula for this one is again same thing. CH3CH O single bond OH COOH. So this is the formula. So remember, if you are having OH group, again same thing. You have to study carbonates compounds. Of course, and nobody of them they knows this formula, but we will get in the carbonates compounds in chemistry. So remember OH, if you are finding like this, please remember OH if you are finding, that is hydroxy group, means alcohol madri. So it is actually hydroxy, and COOH is there. I told you already. COOH means what is that acid? Yes, please.
Carboxylic acid.
Carboxylic acid. So this is hydroxycarboxylic acid. That is what you have to remember. Is it okay, guys? Everybody? So lactic acid also called as what? Lactate. So this is what 5 points which you have to remember before going to study types of respiration. So what is the types of respiration? Aerobic respiration and
Aerobic
Anaerobic.
respiration.
So now you understand. Please be very careful. This is the most important one. If oxygen is present in a cell, complete oxidation will take place. CO2 plus water and lot of energy released in the form of ATP. Very, very important point. If oxygen is not present or absence of oxygen, then pyruvate is converting into ethanol and carbon dioxide, or it is lactic acid based upon the, it is depends on either plant cell or animal cell. Is it okay, everybody? Sharon, Kaushik, Johan? Yes, please. That is what you have to remember. Clear? So Johan, where is Harini? Harini is there in a meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hari is there, Raj? Can you understood? Vijay, write it now. Next. So next we are going to study types of respiration. All of you keep adding types of respiration. Types of respiration. Okay. So first type of respiration. So as we all know, common, mostly all of you remember, presence of oxygen only it will takes place, and absence of oxygen is very, very rare. So that is why you remember oxidation of food to obtain the energy occurs in the presence of oxygen as well as absence of oxygen. So based upon this presence of oxygen and absence of oxygen, so types of respiration is two. So what is the first type of respiration? Everybody, presence of oxygen. What do we to call? All of you.
Aerobic respiration.
Respiration. So all of you write it. Definition directly. Right. The respiration which occurs which occurs in the presence of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, or we can say the respiration which uses oxygen is called aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. So it will uses it will uses the what, guys? This aerobic respiration. It will uses the oxygen from where? From where, guys? From air. So that is why aerobic means actually with the air. That is the meaning of aerobic. Means the oxygen which is present in the air is only we are using. That is the meaning of aerobic respiration. So what it will happen, sir, here? So whatever the food we are eating, it contains what, guys? Glucose. Yes or no, everybody? So glucose, or we can say food, it completely broke down into carbon dioxide and water by oxidation. So that is only called as aerobic respiration. All of you remember, very, very important. So aerobic respiration. So it is taking presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen? Mitakshri? Presence of oxygen. So it is in the presence of oxygen. Harini, please mute yourself, otherwise leave from the meeting. No issues. Please be very strict. So aerobic respiration means, all of you remember, the glucose, whatever we are eating, glucose contains what? Where it is contains? Actually, food what we are eating only. So the glucose fruit is completely, be very careful, completely broken, and it will be forming into what, guys? Everybody, broken down into, yes please, already I taught you in the fourth point. What will happen? Carbon dioxide and water. Okay, by
Part of that.
yes, by oxidation, because it is taking place in the presence of oxygen. So aerobic respiration undergoes complete oxidation and it will produce carbon dioxide, water, and it will produce huge amount of energy for use, for use by the organism, which will get stored in the form of what molecules? Everybody, stored energy is in the form of what molecules? ATP molecules. Understanding? So that is why the breaking down of this glucose during respiration, during aerobic respiration. So let us represent, whenever if they will ask you in exam also, aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration we can represent in the chemical equation like glucose. So if you take one single molecule, for example, so let me take one single molecule of glucose, so undergoes glycolysis. So what will happen, guys? Cytoplasm. Everybody, please respond. Glycolysis process will take place. Where it will take place? Please respond. Glycolysis will take place in cytoplasm, and it will form one molecule of glucose will form how many molecules of pyruvate?
2 molecules of pyruvate.
Yes. So for formation of pyruvate, oxygen is required or not required? Oxygen is required or not required?
Not required.
Not required. Then further oxygen, if further oxygen is present, then that is what it will, the process will take place in inside the where? Mitochondria. Clear? So mitochondria, so it will form completely oxidation. That is what it will form 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus it will release the energy in the form of what? Everybody, ATP, stored energy. That is what? Energy. So one molecule of glucose will produce 38 ATPs. That is what you have to remember. So remember, of course, this name you don't need to worry about it, but I'm just saying this formation of pyruvate to this energy, carbon dioxide and water, this cycle we used to called as Krebs cycle. Okay, so if you're not remember also, nothing will happen, but just remember. Okay, the 12th class again you will get this. That is what I'm saying. Okay, so this is what all the organisms which obtain the energy by aerobic respiration, they cannot live without oxygen. Like us, we people cannot survive without oxygen. Because if there is no oxygen, then what will happen? No complete oxidation will take place and they cannot get energy from the food. That's what, without oxygen, whatever the organisms, so we cannot our body cannot be released the energy. If there is no energy, no metabolic process will carried out. No metabolic process will carried out. What will happen, guys? We people is alive or dead? We people, everybody, we people will be dead. That is what you have to remember. Clear, everybody? So that is why we can say, as I told you, Krebs cycle is taking place. Where it is taking place? Everybody see this. Where it is taking place? Inside the mitochondria. That is what? Mitochondria are the site of aerobic respiration. Please remember. Mitochondria are the sites of aerobic respiration in the cells. Okay, everybody clear? Yes, please. So complete process, pyruvate into carbon dioxide plus water plus releasing energy takes place at which point? All of you. Takes place inside the, yes, please.
Mitochondria.
So the energy released during this aerobic respiration is only used by the organism. So most of the living organisms, including plants and animals, they will carry out what respiration? Everybody. Aerobic respiration only, including the humans, dogs, cats, lions, elephants, cows, buffaloes, goats, deers. You can take many animals in our surroundings: lizards, snakes, earthworms, frogs, fish, insects, cockroaches, mosquitoes, ants, and plants also. Majority of the plants, they will undergo aerobic respiration by using oxygen or not using oxygen. By using oxygen in the presence of what? All of you. By using oxygen, in the presence of oxygen only, the pyruvate will converting into carbon dioxide plus water plus 38 ATPs energy, one glucose molecule. So all the majority of animals and plants, they will obtain the energy by using oxygen from air. So that is why we used to say they are called as aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. So that is what you have to remember. What is aerobic respiration? So please write it, learn this equation. Nobody should forget this equation. Mr. Kevin, Mr. Anderson, Kaushik, Aswin Gokul, Sanjay Kannan, Omar,
Yes, sir.
any doubt you can ask me. So please write it, and we'll continue from here. Okay, do it fast, everybody. This is the aerobic respiration. Meeting is going to end. Please join back and we'll continue here. So we are going to study a lot of new things today's class. So everything is very, very important. So make it fast, everyone. Complete it.